You might think something needs to change in a big way in your life. But what if the life you actually want is quieter than you think? It's not a reinvention, maybe not a reset, maybe not even a dramatic overhaul. What if it was more peace, less pressure, more honesty with yourself again? Because you might not be stuck. You might just be tired of living a life that doesn't feel like yours anymore. Come on in. It's time to choose your happy life. Wherever you are, whatever kind of day you're having, this is your reminder. You have a choice. If you're ready to break free from self-doubt and negative thinking, you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Marie, and this is the Choose Happy with Marie podcast. Welcome. Hello, how are you? I hope you are doing well. The purpose of today's episode is to give you a bit of a reality check, an honest one about your life, and maybe the busyness that you've built around your life. Because maybe there's a part of you quietly wondering if something is off, or maybe wondering how you got here. And when that thought comes up, it can feel like the answer has to be big. Quit something, leave something, start over completely. But what if that's not actually what's going on? What if you don't need a new life? What if what you need is more of a life that feels like yours? Because if I think about many of the women that I talk to, and honestly, if I think about myself at different points too, it doesn't usually start with, I want to change everything. Okay, maybe at home it might be that. Let's just do a big, renovation and see where that takes us. It starts much quieter than that. It can sound like the following. I'm just tired all the time. I feel like I'm always catching up to my own life. I don't even know what I want anymore. I feel like I'm holding everything together, but I'm not really in it. Sound familiar? And from the outside, nothing looks wrong. You're still showing up for what everyone expects of you. You're still doing what needs to be done. You're still being the reliable one. You're still managing life. But inside, something feels off. It's not broken. It's not dramatic. But it doesn't feel aligned anymore. And what I've noticed is that a lot of us start dismissing our real desires because they don't sound big enough. So instead of saying, I want a completely different new life, what if we just said, I just want less stress. I just want things to feel calmer in my life. I want to stop overthinking everything. Let's think about something once and leave it there. Or maybe it's just, I want a bit more space in my life. But almost always we talk ourselves out of even these desires. Because somewhere along the way, we learn that what we want has to be impressive to count. But peace that many of us want doesn't always sound impressive, does it? Emotional safety doesn't always look like a big transformation. And slowing down, that doesn't always look like progress, right? But what if that's what we need and what we want for our life? What if these changes that we would like to have in our life, what if we can achieve them? What if instead of you're lying in bed at night, replaying conversations from the day, and you stopped wondering if you said the right thing? Or you wake up without already feeling behind before your day has even started. What if you could feel that? Or what if you could sit down for 5 minutes and you could actually rest instead of your brain immediately going to everything you should be doing? Or what if you said yes to something because you really wanted to do that thing, or you said no without having to explain yourself? What if you could give yourself a weekend to yourself that you can actually enjoy it instead of feeling guilty that you weren't productive, you didn't get everything done around the house? Those moments, they're not dramatic, right? They're small choices that we can make. They are what I refer to as choose happy choices. But when you take one decision, like one choice, and how I refer to it, and you do another choice and it aligns with what you really want for your life, that's how you can start pivoting your life to what you really want for it. So I want to offer you this shift today. What if you didn't think about, I just want a completely different life? What if you just grounded it a little bit and wanted a more honest one? One that it's a life where you're not constantly overriding yourself. A life where your nervous system isn't always on alert. And a life where you're not performing being okay all the time. Because sometimes the life you really want doesn't necessarily look bigger. It can be calmer. It can be slower. It can be more honest. And I think that matters a lot, especially nowadays with everything going on. Because feeling peace, that isn't a luxury. It's a necessity. And it actually is a form of self-trust. And maybe this is the part that we don't talk enough about. So I invite you that you don't need to justify wanting things like a quieter morning. Yeah, I like that. I prioritize that as much as I can. It does involve me waking up a little earlier than my family, but I do get that quieter morning, and that really, really impacts the rest of our day. And if you want less emotional overload, that's okay. And if you want more time alone, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. And if you want relationships that feel safe, yes. And if you want space so that you can just think clearly again, yes. You don't need to wait until everything collapses or changes to start listening to yourself. You can do it right now. You don't need to earn the right to feel better in your own life. You're allowed to notice if something doesn't feel like you anymore. And you don't need to have the whole answer yet, and stop feeling guilty for noticing it. So maybe instead of asking, what do I need to fix in my life? You start asking something softer. What would feel more honest for me right now? It doesn't need to be impressive. It doesn't need to be productive. And it doesn't need to be acceptable to other people. It just needs to be more honest for you. And sometimes that might look really small in your actual life, but very powerful. It can look like saying no to something you would normally say yes to automatically. It could be not replying right away to a text or an email, so you can actually feel what you want to say. Or it's going to bed a little earlier instead of pushing through the tiredness. Or it could be admitting to yourself, even quietly, I don't actually want to do this right now. You can do that. You can choose a slower morning instead of rushing into the day in stress mode. That's a choice. and you can choose to sit in your car. I know of many people who do this for 2 minutes before going inside, whether it's your home or your place of work, just to give you a chance to breathe. If you notice, none of that is dramatic. It's small things you can do on a daily basis, but it's honest, and it lets you reconnect with yourself. Because the moment you stop abandoning what you already know inside and what you want, it's moments like that when you become aware, you pause, and you change what you're about to do. Something starts to shift. It's not all at once, but gently, and it shifts back to what you want for your life. So if you take anything from today, let it be this. Don't try to solve your whole life this week, okay? Just notice it. This episode was just about giving you an opportunity to just reflect, to notice moments in your life that are not feeling right, that are feeling a little heavy, that feel like you're not fully there anymore. I want you to just lean into that. And if you're open to it, I'd love for you to take this step further with me. This week, try writing down a few of those honest moments you noticed this week. Just simple everyday things where you felt, this doesn't feel like me anymore. Without guilt, without people pleasing. I don't want you to fix anything right away. I just want you to sit with it. Because when we sit with how we are feeling, that's where self-trust lives. And you need to live in self-trust, because it is there that we start reconnecting with ourselves, and we can hear ourselves clearly enough so that we stop dismissing what we already know. And in this week's email, I will share with you a journal prompt to help you go a little deeper with this. If you're not into journal prompts, many of us are, they're very powerful because they slow our thinking down enough for us to actually hear ourselves under the noise. So if you would like that, make sure you are signed up for the email list, and the link will be in the show notes. So remember, every time you stop and choose what you really want and also what you don't want, you're choosing your happy life. Okay? I hope this episode was helpful to you, and I'm wishing you a wonderful week. Take good care. Cheers. Thanks for listening to Choose Happy with Marie. If today's episode spoke to you, I would love it if you could share it with a friend or leave a quick review for the show. It helps more women find this kind of support. Remember, you don't have to overhaul your life to start feeling better. You just have to choose happy right where you are, one choose happy choice at a time. I'll see you next time. Take care.